Assalamualaikum. Good day to all our audience. Welcome to the International and Domestic Virtual Colloquium or KUMAT 2023, organized by the Institute of Teacher Education, International Languages Campus, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, or better known as IPG KBA. I'm Muhammad Irman bin Harun, your moderator for this session. Ladies and gentlemen, KUMAT 2023 brings to you 18 series of individual webinars with speakers from Malaysia and abroad. And this is the 16th series of our virtual session. Optimizing future-proof education is the theme for this year. We hope educators from all over the world will use this space and platform to discuss, share, and exchange views on topics related to future education, how it is transformed globally, and the way forward in practice and implementation. Indeed, plenty of exponential knowledge for us to explore, to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Do stay tuned with us till the end of this session. And we are live on YouTube channel and EduWeb TV. Before we engage with our speaker for the day, allow me to share a few housekeeping matters. Firstly, everyone who attends this webinar series can download your e-certificate from the KUMAT 2023 cert site after each session. Therefore, do register your name when link is given through the chat box. Make sure it is typed correctly and your email address is accurate. For viewers joining us from the Ministry of Education Malaysia, your attendance will be recorded in SPL KPM. The registration link will be shared about 30 minutes into the webinar. Secondly, we would love to hear from you during this presentation. If you have any questions for our speaker, please feel free to send it through the chat box. The speaker will be answering questions at the end of the session. If we don't answer your question during today's webinar, we will surely do a follow-up. And finally, we would like to encourage you to share today's webinar with others through your social networks. Now, let me introduce our speaker for today, Madam FAZLINAH Syed. So, Madam FAZLINAH Syed holds a Bachelor Education with Honours, majoring in TESOL, minor in English Literature, and she also holds Master in Education, specializing in curriculum and instruction. Okay, so before this, she was a secondary school English teacher for 12 years from 1990 until 2002. And when she was a teacher, she was appointed as a panel in developing examination questions for PMR and also SPM at national level. In July 2022, she joined Institute of Teacher Education, International Languages Campus, Kuala Lumpur, IBA, as an English lecturer and academic secretary. And she was appointed as BEd Office Manager for twinning programs since 2004 until 2012. Okay, with 5 foreign universities in the United Kingdom, Australia, and also New Zealand. And currently, she is the Deputy Director, Curriculum Development Division of Social Sciences Sector, Ministry of Education Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, if everyone is ready, so let's pump up the volume for today's topic, which is future-proof policies for the stabilisation of curriculum in Malaysia. So without wasting any more time, please welcome Madam FAZLINAH Syed.
Thank you, Irman, for that lengthy introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. All right, I've been given the title Future-Proof Policies for the Stabilisation of Curriculum in Malaysia. It sounds such a tall order when you say future-proof policies. So what does it entail when you talk about future-proof policies? Yeah, what do we need to consider when it comes to developing a curriculum? First of all, the most important part of the curriculum is the content. Yeah, we cannot run away from the content, and the content determines the concept and the way forward as how the curriculum should be developed and delivered, and finally how it should be experienced by students. Excuse me. Now, the second aspect to be considered is teachers' readiness. That means how do we prepare students, how do we prepare teachers to deliver or to reenact, yeah? How do you enact the curriculum so that whatever is being delivered is aspired in the curriculum? The third aspect is, of course, who is it for? The targeted students. So you must also understand and know the type of students that you will be engaged with, their aspirations, their needs, their abilities. So these are the things that you need to consider when it comes to developing a curriculum. The fourth one, which is the infrastructure. That means if you have subjects like science, if you have like maybe design and technology, you may need science labs, or you may also need labs for design. So these are the things you have to make sure that it's ready. If you have music, therefore you need to have musical room, music room, and also other things. So these are the four main aspects when it comes to curriculum, and these four aspects you cannot run away. All right, so I will actually elaborate further on each aspect. For example, the content. When you talk about future-proof policies, policies that would actually withstand the test of time.
Yes.
Okay, imagine if we were to develop a curriculum. For example, last year we already have a long list of engagements with various stakeholders to get their feedback, because the Malaysian education curriculum that we are using in primary and secondary, it has actually completed its cycle. So it's about time for us to actually have a review of the curriculum. So how do you go about reviewing this? There are many ways of doing it. For example, you have to have engagements with all the various stakeholders. For example, maybe students, teachers, policymakers, people from the industries, academicians, parents, NGOs, and various other stakeholders. So in order for you to get that feedback so that you are prepared what needs to be done. So imagine if it were done last year, and if you plan to have your, for example, the new curriculum, say for example in 2026 or 2027, the process is really rigorous. So you need to do a lot of needs analysis. For example, you can also engage with teachers through roundtable discussions or town hall and get their feedback on specific subjects. And also, you can also get feedback through evaluation. For example, you send surveys, you do classroom observation, and you look at how teachers translate the curriculum document into their teaching and learning. So then once you observe the lesson, then you also get feedback from students and to see how they fare. How do they actually learn? What is the experience curriculum that they get from the delivered curriculum given by teachers? Okay, then when you look at the content, some of the key elements that the feedback that we have got is students these days, they would like personalized learning. That means it's more individualized learning, because I think the pandemic has taught us a lot of lessons. For example, there are many students who were not able to get themselves digitally or online through lack of connectivity or even lack of suitable devices. So there were other ways that teachers need to approach. And when school reopen, when these students come back, they do not start at the same entrance point. So they actually come in with different entrance points. Therefore, this is where the teachers need to see how the lesson can be personalized to cater to the needs of the children. Now, another aspect from our feedback that we have got from our engagement from various stakeholders about STEAM education. Normally we talk about STEM, but STEAM education, that means apart from science, technology, engineering, there's also the arts. That means the arts where you wanted the curriculum to touch the humanistic part of the child. Yeah, that means to prepare them for communication skills. Yeah, so that they actually possess the personal skills, the soft skills for them to communicate better with others. Yeah, and finally, of course, mathematics. Now, the next one is global and cultural awareness. So when we talk about global and cultural awareness, one term that has actually been the buzzword these days is about global citizenship. Yeah, we are not just talking about local citizenship, us being Malaysians, but how we as Malaysians affect the world. Yeah, per se. For example, if you talk about the environmental education, whatever you do here in Malaysia would also affect other parts of the world. That means if you don't recycle enough, you don't reduce enough, it will also affect the resources, not just in Malaysia, but also other parts of the world. So we need to be culturally aware also. That means we must also have that high tolerance of other people's cultures, languages, religions, and other ethnicities. Yeah, so this is where we talk about global and cultural awareness. The fourth part, which is environmental sustainability. Yeah, so as we know, there are 17 sustainable development goals, and our curriculum is actually mapped out against all these 17 SDGs to ensure that we do not leave our children behind. We are actually at par with UNESCO, what UNESCO has prescribed. So through our mapping of the 17 SDGs, it appears across the curriculum. Maybe some subjects may have a few goals more than the others, but when you mapped it out, all the 17 SDGs are actually taught across the curriculum. The next one is critical thinking and problem solving. Yeah, so a lot of debates have been going on. You know, how critical are we? How do we solve problem? You know, how do we make our children become informed individuals so that they make the right decision? So these are the things, the elements that needs to be included in the curriculum so that our children develop that critical thinking. They can make decisions, they can be creative, they can think out of the box and be able to solve problems when the needs arise. Yeah, so these are the skills that we need to put in our content. And also another major element that needs to be included is digital learning. Yeah, we talk a lot about digital literacy, and the pandemic has taught us, either you like it or not, you have to go with the wave. Yeah, you have to be part of this digital world. In some ways, either you are directly involved or indirectly involved. Even our teachers, they have actually become masters. Yeah, they have actually masters in how they can deliver now, not just digital learning, but also we are coming back to school now, so it's also hybrid learning. So I don't think digital learning is to be sidelined. I think it still goes hand in hand with face-to-face learning. So another aspect that we should also consider, as much as we want them to be digitally literate, we want them to be advanced in their digital technology, we must also realize that we are all humans. Yeah, so as humans, we need to have that social emotional learning well in place. Yeah, so that is where the arts come in. Yeah, subjects like the humanities, geography, history, literature, languages. These are the areas that must also be enhanced equally, so that the child that we want to produce at the end of the secondary education is a well-rounded, holistic children. Yeah. Now, what are the policies? These are just some of the policies that Ministry of Education looked into. It may seem a lot, but actually this is not all. Yeah, what I've actually displayed here, only 14, but bear in mind there are many other policies that we need to consider in our reviewing of our curriculum to ensure.
So you mean this just parts of it?
Parts of it. Yeah?
All right.
So some of the major ones. Yeah, if I can just share with you some of it. Of course, now we are all working towards 12 Malaysia plan. So where we start doing the budgeting, the infrastructure, looking into the needs of the teachers, training. So a lot of things, as I said, the four aspect where apart from the content of the curriculum, that means who's going to deliver it? Teachers. So we also need to prepare the teachers. So in the 12 Malaysia plan, a lot of training and courses are also budgeted for the teachers so that they are well prepared. You know, when the new curriculum will be rolled out, teachers are in the know. They know what to expect. They know how to deliver the kind of pedagogies that needs to be carried out, and also the kind of assessment to be included as well. So another one that is quite major in our curriculum review is national policy on science, technology, and innovation. Yeah. So we aspire to be a nation that is highly technical, high tech nation by 2030. So we are moving towards that, and we know it's still a long way. And we wanted in the RMK 12, we wanted those when some of these policies they also merge, they come in together to form the foundation of our curriculum. Yeah. And of course, as you said, as I said just now, we want them to be digitally literate. Yeah, digital literacy is important. So we also have this policy, My Digital. So we want to be the regional leader in digital learning, not just in our region. Maybe we will be at par also with other countries, developed countries. Another one, of course, for IR. Even now, we are talking not just for IR, but Society 5.0.
Okay.
In Society 5.0, that means a lot of robotic, a lot of digital learning, a lot of data analysts will be the rule of the day. Yeah. So that means we need to prepare not just for IR. I think we are moving even towards Society 5.0. Another one that is very, very important that we cannot sideline, which is the National Children's Policy. So in our National Children's Policy, it has stated what are the children, what kind of children that we want our children to be, so that they live in a country, so that they can be healthy, happy, active. They can be later on when they come to school and they complete their education, they will be useful citizens to the country as well. So in referring to the National Children's Policy, we also have, we want the children to be self-respecting, competitive, to be confident. So these are the things that in the National Children's Policy that we also take into account when we are reviewing our curriculum. Of course, the next most important, National Language Policy. So we cannot do without the National Language Policy, and Malay being the national language, which is also a tool of unification. So it's also being used as the medium of instruction in our schools. So National Language Policy, and also it also reflects in the allocation of hours that we have in our curriculum. Malay language would have the most number of allocated hours in the curriculum. And the next one is National Development Policy. So why do we need this? Of course, in our aim to develop the country, we must also foster and maintain and also strengthen unity. So when we talk about strengthening unity, we actually, Ministry of Education collaborate with other ministries as well, with the unity ministry. We also work closely with sports and youth ministry, women and children's. So these are all the ministries that we work together with to ensure that national development policy is being able to be developed. Now, the next one, of course, TVET policy. We aspire to be that high-tech nation, so it has to go hand in hand with the TVET policy to ensure that our children are also being given the opportunities to be involved in STEM and also TVET, so that we have that policy 40-60. However, it's still we are still working towards that. We have not achieved that 40% of our children being involved in STEM and TVET, but the number is slowly rising. The next one is, of course, the new declared policy, which is Malaysia Madani, which is the emphasis is on 6 main aspects on sustainability, care and compassion, respect, innovation, prosperity, and trust. Of course, this is equally important as well. And other policies like human capital development, and also Malaysia Green Technology Roadmap. So this is actually followed closely, particularly in subjects like geography, science, because we want to ensure that using green technology is actually a way of life. We want to minimize our reliance on renewable energy. So non-renewable energy. Therefore, we wanted to move towards green technology. And of course, national sports policy as well. So we have this in our curriculum. Of course, apart from the main curriculum, which is the intended curriculum, we also have co-curriculum. So it must be in tandem, with our national curriculum. The sports policy is also taken into account so that what children do in their co-curriculum would actually reflect the national sports policy as well. And the last two would be national environmental policy. That means to improve our quality of life, ensure that environmental well-being is also sustained. And the last on the display is actually national entrepreneurship policy. So at the end of the day, jobs, we want children or we want students to create jobs rather than waiting for jobs to come to them. So that is when you become entrepreneurs, you would be creative enough to create jobs rather than seeking jobs. You are supposed to create jobs. That means
so you're not anymore seeking for jobs, but you're actually creating jobs.
So that is the next aim of our policy. All right. Now, maybe I've mentioned this, some of the policies I would like to further elaborate. One of the most important one is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. One thing about STEM teaching and learning, it actually transcends. It's transdisciplinary. For example, in project-based learning, you can actually have a STEM project, but it may also involve mathematics, geography, language, and also other aspects like history and things like that. So when you do project-based learning, we would like that STEM projects to be cut across all disciplines. So this is what we aspire. I think there's one program which is called STEMEC, carried out by Curriculum Development Division, that actually gears toward that. Okay, another one.
So is this like cross-curricular kind of thing?
Okay, so it's how shall I say? Because project-based learning, it involves multidisciplines. Because say for example, if you do a project and you would like to seek further, research further, so you need your language skills, your ability to read, to digest information. So this comes from your proficiency in the language, and also for you to actually look at information, and then you have to decipher the information and decide which of the information is factual, or opinions, and you have to ensure that the credibility of the sources that you have taken from. So that is why project-based learning is, I think, one of the most important aspects in teaching and learning, because it's able to encompass a number of disciplines, and also it actually enhances a number of learning skills that you have.
So it means that it is not exclusively towards, science and maths only, but it only involves language.
For example, if you have done, if you were to do the report, you need the language ability, isn't it?
True.
And if you were to present the report, or if you want to make a video out of that report, it requires your digital learning as well.
Yes,
so
exactly.
that is where we say it's multidisciplines. So an integrated approach is what we aspire. So that means we can actually ensure that the children are given the opportunities to explore and to discover their potentials when they are actually doing various projects or even in their own teaching and learning in the classrooms. Yeah, so this is where teachers need to play a role, and how do you enhance, how do you discover the potentials of the children so that no child is left behind. Yeah? So you must make sure that you maximize their potentials. All right, now the next one is of course digital. We cannot run away, either we like it or not. I think digital learning is here to stay. Yeah, and it will be more and more enhanced, become more and more important as we progress. So that is why in 21st century learning, education, ICT or digital learning is very, very much core of the, even we have now a new policy, which is digitalization policy. Yeah, so that is also going to be rolled out in the near future. All right, now when we talk about the well-being of a child, the well-being of a country, we cannot be so absorbed into making sure that they are so digitally literate. We also must ensure that there is this harmony and stability in the country. So one of the tools that is best known to unite the country is, of course, our national language. Yeah? So language is a tool of unification. But having said that, not only the Malay language is being focused, we also have other languages, indigenous languages, and also mother tongue languages, like we have for Chinese, Tamil, and we also have additional languages for ethnic groups. For example, the Semai language, Kadazan Dusun, and also Iban language. Yeah, I think we are also giving that opportunities to more and more schools by maybe giving framework and guidelines so that maybe other indigenous groups as well would like to learn their own indigenous language. For example, people from Bidayu, for example, orang Sungai and things like that. And this language policy, because we have many types of schools that cater for different medium of instructions, like for example the international school, of course we are using Malay language, but we also have the national type schools that are using Tamil or Chinese. Yeah, so we would like our children to be given opportunities not just to be bilingual but multilingual. Therefore, in the curriculum we also offer foreign languages. Yeah, so foreign languages that we have currently, we have Korean, Japanese, French, and German. But I think if the needs arise, there could be other international languages also. Yeah, so these are the opportunities and also the feedbacks that we've got from our stakeholders. Now, values and character. You always talk about how effective you can be a straight A students.
Yeah.
But if you don't have possess the right character, you don't have the right values, your education may not amount to a lot. So this has to be hand in hand. So for example, you can be very proficient in many languages, but if you don't actually display and possess good values, it also does not show and reflect the aspirations of the curriculum and also our country. So of course there are a number of subjects that actually focus on values and character. For example, the Islamic education or the moral education, and also civic education. Nevertheless, we have what is what we call a cross-curricular elements in the curriculum, and one of the main elements is actually on values. So when you talk about character, what kind of character do you want? So is it just enough to be confident? Actually, we benchmark a lot when it comes to character education. We also look at other countries, how they do character. Some of them, they call it character and civic education. Some of them call it moral education. Some call it citizenship education. So some of them call it peace education. Yeah,
Oh.
so there are many ways and how you translate these values and character in the curriculum. So having that in mind, so we have to look ahead, the kind of values that we would like to instill in our children, and the kind of values that we want them to possess. Yeah, so I think when we talk about specific subjects, we cannot just say, oh, we have subjects that are catering for values, therefore other subjects should not really focus on it. No. Yeah, because in our curriculum, there are 3 domains that we must always remember, which is we have on knowledge, skills, and values. So these 3 main domains, they actually come in hand when we develop the curriculum. Yeah, all right. Now, talking about TVET, yeah, there's always this, when we had our engagements with industries, some of them say there is this mismatch in the skills that the children have or the students have and to the needs of the industries. So this is where you need to actually ensure you match the skills that are needed. That is why we had a long engagement with the industries. We wanted to get their feedback on our curriculum, on the kind of students that we have actually produced, and how do they meet the demands and the needs of the industries. Yeah, so we actually get very valuable feedback from them. And in the new curriculum, these are the things that you must ensure that there shouldn't be any mismatch on the skills, on the what you call competencies that our students have against what the industries need. Yeah. Okay. Of course, we need to enhance our TVET programs. Okay. Now, if you look at our technical secondary schools and also our vocational colleges, they actually offer more than 70 courses, TVET courses. Yeah. So, and one of the courses that I find very, very relevant these days is actually on gerontologists. That means taking care of the elderly.
Oh.
So our country is actually moving towards aging society, yeah, in 2030. So one of the courses in TVET is actually that, yeah, gerontology. That means looking after elderly people.
So not only childcare, but also taking care
yes,
of the
older,
okay,
yeah, our
folks.
elderly. So that in 2020, I also would be in that category. So I do not know how how agile or how either I'm still physically active. So these are the things that we need to ensure that what we need in the future. Okay, so by 2030, more and more, I think, of our citizens would be in that category of the aging society. Yeah. Now, we talk about human capital. Yeah, when we want to enhance the TVET program, we would like to minimize our reliance on foreign workers. Yeah, so of course, when we talk about semi-skilled or or low-skilled jobs, sometimes most of these jobs are occupied by foreign workers. Maybe we need to minimize on this reliance, on our foreign workers. And at the same time, we also need to get the best brains back into the country. Yeah. So in TVET, we actually must have attractive offers to bring back all the experts from other countries to come back to Malaysia and serve the country. So that is why I think in the Ministry of Higher Education, they also have this kind of program where they try to attract and also to stop the brain drain, in the country as well. So that at the end of the day, we can produce high-skilled workers. Now, of course, there are a number of ways as to how we actually enhance this TVET. One is to enhance the module that are being used in TVET education system. We must also take into account the needs of the industries, and also the most important thing is the promotion of lifelong learning. So that means they must continuously get themselves, new skills, learn new skills. That is why maybe in the new curriculum also the competencies that they have. Once you have the competencies, that means you have a set of skills that when you are faced with different adversities and problems in life, you would be able to adapt and be flexible in translating or transferring the skills that you have to adapt to the new environment and the new needs of your new jobs. Yeah, so that is why we need to prepare our children. Not just, we always talk about IQ, yeah, intelligent quotients, EQ, SQ, social quotients, but there's also AQ, adversity quotients. Yeah, so that means how good are they in problem solving, in overcome all the adversities in their life. So these are also the elements that we need to prepare in our future policies curriculum. Yeah. Now, there are also another aspect, of course, environment, yeah? National Environmental Policy and also Malaysian Green Technology Roadmap. These are the two things that we refer to when it comes to making sure that our curriculum is actually at par with other countries. And I think Malaysia also is going towards carbon-free, yeah? Carbon-free country. Even some companies, they have what they call zero carbon policy. Yeah, so we are also working, gearing towards that. In making sure that we adopt this green technology, environmental policy into our way of life, we need to prepare the children since young. Yeah, so we need to make sure that they are aware of their surrounding, how their practices affect the environment, not just locally, but also globally. All right. Now, the second aspect that just now I was just talking about content.
Yes.
Yeah? The content, what needs to be included in the content. Now, once you have the recommended curriculum or the official curriculum, the planned curriculum, there are so many terms that we can use for the official document for curriculum. The second aspect of the curriculum that is equally important, you can have the best of curriculum in the world, but if it is not enacted well, if it's not delivered well, it will come to nothing. Yeah. True. So teachers need to play a very, very essential role in ensuring that what aspirations that you have in the curriculum, they are being able to be translated into classroom learning. Yeah, either it could be within the classroom walls or even outside. Yeah, outside classroom. Yeah. But when you say teachers playing an essential role, that means not only they know about the curriculum, but they must also be prepared with all the right skills, pedagogical skills, the right tools. Yeah, our children can be very digitally literate, but our teachers must be more literate digitally, so that they would also be able to deliver and be at par with other teachers around the world. Yeah. Now, how do you prepare them? Yeah, for future-proof policies. That means in their courses, in their training, there must be integration of technology. Yeah, STEAM education, and the things that we wanted in the curriculum, like global and cultural awareness, environmental sustainability, critical thinking, and also social emotional learning. This also must be included in the teacher training program. Yeah. So that when they actually graduate and they go into the classroom, they are also able to deliver the curriculum well, and they are well prepared, pedagogically, in terms of their knowledge, in terms of their skills. Yeah. All right. So the next one, the third aspect, of course, targeted students. Yeah. So if you have the curriculum, the official curriculum, then you have the teachers deliver it. Who do you deliver it to? Of course, you deliver it to students.
Yeah.
So who are our students? If we were to review our curriculum, we may actually use the new curriculum in 5 years' time. Imagine, could be in 2026, 2027, if you have the new curriculum. Now it's 2023. Which is 4 years down the road.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, then you have 6 years of primary education and then 5 years of secondary.
True.
So that whole process of schooling is already 11 years.
True.
Plus now the reviewing is another 3 to 4 years. So that means you have to ensure that your curriculum remain relevant for the next 15 to 20 years. So that is when we talk about future-proof policies. Future-proof curriculum.
Yeah.
It's not an easy feat, to ensure that the curriculum that you think about now would still remain relevant and current in 15 to 20 years' time. So that is the task, a tall order that we have to look into, and I think Curriculum Development Division, we are working towards that. Yeah, so we have engaged with a lot of experts as well. All right. Okay. Now we also have to do needs analysis and the future needs, of the curriculum. So when we talk about the alpha generation, that means
the students,
and the kind of curriculum that we need to focus on, the kind of future jobs, for alpha generation, and the comparison with other countries, and the curriculum development in Malaysia. All right. Now, what kind of students do we have? So basically, our children now, our students is very much digital natives. They are all natives. The minute they open their eyes, they already engage with various gadgets. Now, the next one, they have their interaction with digital, with gadgets. I think they would be lost without their handphone.
True.
And I think in the future it will get even worse. They would actually sleep, dream about their handphone more than anything else. So many would actually influence their parents who are Generation X and Generation Y. Even parents these days also, they are also connected so much with their handphones. Now, so these are the things when we propose our future curriculum. There are 4 aspects there. High digitalization. How do you balance curriculum and the well-being of the children? Is it decentralized or centralized? And also hybrid school session. So we know towards now that it's highly digitalized nation. We have to move towards that. That is like the order of the day. Then how do you balance the curriculum? So that means you have a mixture of science, vocational, technical subjects, as well as arts and religious subjects as well. So that there is this balance between various disciplines as well. Okay, when I put the decentralized, it's actually becoming more common to have decentralized education, but at this point of time, Ministry of Education do not have we don't actually intend to decentralize our education. It's still centralized. But however, it's good to see how this decentralized education is also being done in other countries. And hybrid school session is also becoming common rather than just face-to-face. Of course, now teachers also do hybrid, blended learning because the 2.5 years that we were in pandemic, I think our children, our teachers are also beginning to feel more adapted. They are also adapted to using digital tools as well. So when you talk about digital, you can learn anywhere, anytime. Space is not a problem, and also the interaction. How do you interact? Is it face to face, or is it just through online platforms?
This will actually encourage autonomous learning as well, because whenever they have the platform, the IT, the internet connection, they can just do the lesson will go. I mean, the learning process will be there and then.
So in the one of the concept of 4IR means you can learn anywhere, anytime.
Yes.
So there shouldn't be any boundaries. Now, future jobs, of course, you still have engineers, medical, humanitarian, technologists, but the kind of engineers that you have would be more inclined towards environmental. Hospitalization, that means you have genetists, that is to do with equipment. How do you analyze DNA, things like that. Even yesterday also there was this very interesting concept that they say that genetics, you can actually determine how a child is inclined towards from the age of 2 months. Yeah. So you have also 3D architect and engineer. Yeah. Then you have medical geneticist. Yeah. Mental health professionals would be very much in demand. Okay. And then you have also humanitarian. You have online teachers, personal trainers. Yeah, they are more humane towards the kind of jobs that they have. You have inside sales representatives. That means those people who actually analyze data to know the needs and the demands of the consumers. Yeah, and of course financial managers as well. So that is why financial literacy is also one of the key elements in our curriculum. Okay, technology, UX design specialist. So I list here a number of jobs that would actually be very much in demand. Yeah, digital marketing, big data analyst, information security, e-commerce, quantum machine learning analyst. So to elaborate this, I think I need another hour.
Well, maybe we will have like another series with you
to explain what it's all about, but maybe for our viewers.
But very interesting. Can I just touch on that one UX?
UX design specialist. UX design specialist is actually a designer that is employed by companies to look at the trends, to look at the trends of consumers, the needs of consumers, and how they can best design a certain technology or apps or software that suits the needs of that consumer.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay, next one. Okay, when we say comparison with other countries, decentralized, competencies based. Okay, many countries have now moved towards competencies. I think we are also inclined and we need to move with time as well. Currently, it's standards based curriculum. We are moving towards competencies based curriculum. Okay, decentralized, many countries like the States, yeah, it's such a huge country, even Finland, even though it's not that big, it's also decentralized, even in the UK, yeah. So many countries are decentralized because the autonomy, a lot of autonomy is given to schools now to determine, or to the states, or to the municipalities, or to certain districts to decide. Yeah, so it's very much contextual learning. Yeah,
and it's more customized.
Yeah. So these are the things that many countries are moving. They are already doing it. Okay, competencies based. Why do we move towards competencies? That means competencies are basically, you need to prepare students with a set of skills, and how these skills would actually able for them, enable them to adapt and be flexible in the future. Yeah. So this is just an overview. Yeah, an overview. Why we cannot actually, when we want to change our curriculum, or some people say, "Oh, why can't you change it next year?" There are a lot of process that goes through it, and normally curriculum development division take 3 to 5 years, because it comes with training, it comes with preparing the supporting materials, for example, textbooks, modules. So that needs time.
A very complicated process, right?
Yes, because then after you have done the mapping, and when you develop the curriculum, then you have to pilot test it, or limited implementation in certain pilot schools. Yeah, then you get the feedback, then only you disseminate, then finally, as the curriculum is being implemented, you also continuously evaluate and monitor. Yeah. Okay, I think basically education needs to be designed in such a way that means we fit the characteristics of our generation, and also it's in accordance with times, and the needs of the time, the needs of the future as well. So I think that's the end of my presentation.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Fazlinah. That was like a really in-depth explanation. It's just that I think we need more time, or maybe like a new series, because we have got lots of things to discuss. But maybe we have like one question here. Okay, so since you are in curriculum development division, so you have come up with the policies, the curriculum, the SKP and whatnot. So all teachers are, of course, they are familiar with the SKP, SOW, and whatnot. So how do we link all these theories to practice, okay, with all the documents, okay, and how we make sure that this can be excellently execute and actually produce the children that we want them to be.
Yeah. Okay. As I said, you can have the best document curriculum, but how teachers translate that document into practice, that is where training comes in. So one of the main functions of curriculum development division is to give training and also to disseminate how the curriculum should be translated into the classroom. That means teachers must unpack. So in the curriculum, there are three aspects. As I said, it has the content, the pedagogy, and the assessment. So all these three aspects, they must actually be hand in hand. So in order for teachers to understand how to translate the curriculum, they must also be knowledgeable in how the content works and how you should deliver it, what kind of pedagogies should be used, and also how the children should be assessed. So in other words, there are multifaceted. Curriculum has they have many facets. For example, one facet is the curriculum itself, the intended curriculum. Then the second facet is the enacted curriculum, how it's being delivered, and the third one is the learned of the experience curriculum. So all these three facets, they must go hand in hand. So the training of teachers, that is why yesterday we had one session with a Finland from Finland representative. They said they train teachers continuously to ensure that they understand the curriculum well. So I think we also need to do that. That is why I am now collaborating with Teacher Training Institute.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why I am here in this format, so that I'm also part of the system in ensuring that because international languages campus are very much involved in training teachers.
Okay, that leads to my next question. One last question, if I could. Okay, because you talk about Finland just now, and also you mentioned about US just now. So you say that they are they are actually too decentralized, and in Malaysia we are still centralized. Okay, so are we moving towards decentralized like Finland and US, or we are actually having our own, centralized way of?
Okay, that is a huge question. That would be another session on its own. Because the debate between centralized and decentralized, it has always been there.
Just on the surface level, madam.
For now, the Ministry of Education is still going to be centralized.
Centralized, okay, but on our own way, exclusive. I mean,
but having said that, even when you say centralized, teachers have the autonomy to mutually adapt the curriculum to suit the needs of their children. So in other words, you can decentralize it in your own way, the teachers, how they understand the curriculum and how you mutually adapt it. To suit the needs and how it can suit the context of their learning as well.
Okay, Madam FAZLINAH, you really nailed it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the webinar session for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Madam FAZLINAH, for that very fruitful session we have here. I'd like to once again thank you, our speaker, Madam FAZLINAH Syed, and not to forget our technical team here at the Institute of Teacher Education International Languages campus, IPGKBE, Mr. Satya, Mr. Daini, and also Mr. Fazi, and the team from Educational Technology and Resources Division, BSTP, Ministry of Education Malaysia. The producer, Dr. Suras Kanagesabai, Studio Director, Mr. Muhammad Azian Muhammad Sofian, Webmaster, Mr. Muhammad Farid Muhammad Fuad Uy, Streamwire, Ms. Nurul Ain Azman, and all our viewers, of course. And just to remind, please join us again for our next webinar, which is going to be tomorrow, Wednesday, on the 12th of April, 2023. And we are going live at 10 a.m. Malaysian time. And this is going to be the 17th from the 18th series that we have. So for tomorrow's session, we will have Mr. Basni Jantra from the Institute of Teacher Education International Languages Campus, Kuala Lumpur. Till then, Assalamualaikum. Jumpa lagi. See you again and goodbye from Malaysia.
Okay, goodbye everyone.
Goodbye.